Ladies and gentlemen, today I'd like to share with you a very alarming topic called American Investor Don't Fall into the CCP Trap. Currently, there are 156 Chinese companies which are publicly traded in the United States stock market, either on New York Stock Exchange or in NASDAQ. The collective market value of the Chinese firm was 1.2 trillion US dollars. And CCP, which means the Chinese Communist Party, directly controls 17 out of those 156 firms. But as a technical point of view, as a matter of fact, CCP controls every one of them because in China, there's no real private enterprise, and CCP controls everything. 2/3 of Americans have a direct and indirect investment in the Chinese company stocks and Chinese government bonds without their knowing. At the end of 2021, 1 trillion of US investment will be invested in the in the China's company stocks and government bonds through what? The ETF, stock index fund, and mutual fund. If no drastic change, the trend is very dangerous and could create a very tragic and very dreadful peril for the United States investors. Now I'd like to give you some common characters of those Chinese firms who are public traded here in America. Number one, they're all cheaters. They fabricate their financial statement, their accounting record, long before they went public trading here in the United States of America. The most recent example, I'd like to give it to you now. Luckin Coffee, IEG, and two education institutions named Advancing Tomorrow, Tomorrow Advancing, or GSX, TechAdu, I don't even know how to pronounce that last one, but anyway, the two education institutions. Take a Luckin Coffee, for example, according to a Muddy Water research firm, and this company this company have a nickname in China called the Starbucks in China. They fabricate over 350 million US dollar in terms of sales revenue. So once the story broke out, the stock price, I think within a few days, plunged with like 90% and probably will be delisted pretty soon by NASDAQ. But interestingly, 3 key stockholders of the company sold their stock before the story broke out, and they collectively collect 2.5 billion US dollars. And this is a criminal act in the United States, but in China, that's a common practice. The other 3 firms, Tomorrow Advancing, and IEG, and the other one called GSX TechAdu, they all fabricate the new account number from 26% to 46%. It's a criminal, but in China, it's a very common practice. It's not very difficult to imagine now the tremendous loss for those investors into those companies. They all use the Chinese laws and regulation as a shield to avoid the US regulators' demand on inspection and auditing. Unfortunately, our Big Four are the primary accessories to help those Chinese firms to obtain their fraudulent act. Number 3, CCP is the number 1 beneficiary for those Chinese fraudulent company in the United States stock market. And number 4, CCP set up all kinds of what they call the party monitoring branch in every one of those companies, no exception at all. And CCP claim that those setup of those party division inside of those companies is for the sole purpose of boosting up the morale of the employee of those companies. Do you believe that? I don't. And number 5, all those major shareholders, founder, key management staff, they're all Chinese Communist Party members, and no exception at all. And then it's coming to a very important question now. How CCP use those fraudulent proceeds they obtain from the United States stock market? Number one, they use the money to fund their military apparatus and expansion. As far as the apparatus is concerned, I think they have a general, not just one general, but many general. They joke, they claim the speed the Chinese Communist Party built up those ships, vessel, plane, destroy, just like throwing a bunch of dumpling on the boiled water, and to claim and to brag about how fast they are in terms of their military build-up, where the money coming from. Now you know. And then expansion is concerned. Chinese communists, they built up a naval base in an African country called Djibouti. They built up the naval base up there. That naval base is only several kilometers from the United States military base. So it's not difficult to imagine they would use a very powerful radar, right, everything, to monitor the daily activities of our military base. Secondly, they use those money to fund those terrorist nations around the world. Who are they? Not difficult to guess. Iran, ISIS, Syria government, North Korea, Venezuela, and the list could go on and on, like Taliban. The list go on and on, like a laundry list. And then they use those funds to build those, what they call the One Bill, One Rule initiative, instead of a bunch of debt trap for all the countries involved, especially those underdeveloped countries involved here. I hate to use the word initiative. They're not initiative. It's just a dirty, vicious trap. And lots of countries got so bad and so hurt, like a Pakistan, like a Bangladesh, like some country, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Central Asia, and countless African countries involved. So for example, like Pakistan had to use their strategic harbor to exchange for the debt of forbearance. So Communist China used this opportunity to grab a whole bunch of, strategic important harbor, whatever, land, to expand their international expansion, to achieve their common fate for human being. And number four, they use the money to facilitate what they call the send Mandling strategy, which they would send thousands and thousands their loyal contract to the United States of America. They settle down here from their own district, from their own nation. There's a bunch of cash on hands. So you probably heard from the news, you probably know from your relative, your friends, and you probably experienced by yourself as well, right? When there's a residential property come on the marketplace, if the owner asks for $1 million, they will suddenly show up a Chinese gentleman or the proxy, the real estate agent, will give you $1.4 million. People say, wow, kind of so rich. And then when there's some stream shopping mall somewhere in America and ask for like $5 million, and the Chinese shows up, or the proxy with a Caucasian face, they will give you like $7 million, $8 million, without blinking their eyes. And people say, why there's so much money? Now you know the reason why. Technically speaking, it's our money. And then they use our money also set up the cash reserve fund here in the United States to support all the civil unrest movement here in the United States. I will give you a bunch of examples down the rails, but it's what they do right now. Number five, they will accelerate the CCP to bribe USA elite class and international organization. And they already infiltrate many, many international organizations. Can you believe they are the key player of an international United Nations Human Rights Commission? It's a joke. In terms of United States is concerned, the recent example is that they bribe the director of the chemistry department of Harvard University. I'm not talking about those third-rate university colleges, Harvard University. And according to the FBI paper, CCP bribed him with a $1.5 million plus some monthly allowance. I don't believe it's $1.5 million. I think it was a billion, because this guy, he helped the CCP to build up this infamous P4 virology center in Wuhan, China. He even used his own name to invite a whole bunch of urologists, famous urologists from around the world to attend some conference in Wuhan, China. When you step in the soil in China, those experts will have no secrecy at all. As far as the WHO is concerned, that Director General, Tedros Adhanom, look at his behavior. He's a part of the CCP. And lots of people suspect how much money he took from the CCP. We don't know, but at least we know CCP bribed those officials under the table. Lips and bounds. Number 6, CCP will use those money to accelerate the establishment of their own electric district in the United States. So they will send they have their own judge, their city councilman, their mayor, their county magistrate, the governor, and the federal representative or the senators. Eventually, the ideal is to build their own red country within the United States of America. So once they achieve that goal, the United States is no longer the United States that we used to know. 7, they use those funds to send their corruption class, royal member, a loyal member, whatever, and the female, pregnant female to the United States and deliver baby here. Based on my estimate, since 1992, the trend accelerating since 2010, 2012, 2011, whatever, over 1 million of those fake American baby were born here. And those baby, 99.9% of them will be brought back to China. And Chinese Communist Party would give their child hate American, hate Western world, hate civilization, adore authoritarian, the Chinese unique socialist style. That kind of a bullshit education. But alarmingly, almost all the child, those fake Americans, will be sent back here when they reach the age of 16 years old, 18 years old, to start with the college, to attend the university here. So eventually, all those people, all those fake Americans, hate Americans, can run for president. But I give you one example, that if you are American government official, you're diplomat, right? Or you're American company expatriate, you and your spouse were sent overseas. Even though you and your spouse are both Americans, citizens, but if you have a child in overseas and you deliver your child overseas, that child, even though it's American citizen, because he or she was born in overseas, no matter how smart she is, how intelligent he or she cannot run for president. But those fake Americans can run for president. Even though the State Department gave out the residence test for those fake Americans to comply with, but I think CCP is very smart. They have all kinds of ways to avoid, escape, to avoid those kind of regulations to achieve their evil goal. We've got to be very cautious here. Now they come down to the very important things. How I would recommend you to do as USA investor, because your action involved our national security. First, if you own Chinese company stock, I would urge you to seriously consider selling them before the potential stock price deep decline. Second, check with your portfolio manager if you have a 401k investment portfolio, whatever. Check with the managers to see what the percentage, the true percentage of the Chinese investment element in your portfolio. If you do have some, I believe you have, ask the manager to adjust your portfolio to minimize the Chinese investment percentage to avoid the future potential loss. Number 3, stay away from U.S. companies. They have a large presence of a manufacturing capacity in China, or even have significant revenue coming from China, because you need to avoid your arms and legs of investment, hard-earned money on those companies. Any geopolitical tension will cause you a big loss. Please remember, There's nothing true from China. Everything is fake because everything needs to serve the best interest of the Communist Party in China, not the regular folks. May God bless you to make the decision with wisdom. And may God bless the United States of America. Good day.